What's up guys, Zikoza here and welcome faces back to another video. I hope you're doing well today. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build the best deck possible. So here, I just want to tell you guys that making decks is not as hard as it sounds. Some people might be thinking, oh, I'm so bad at making decks, why do I not make them properly? I just lose every time I make a deck. But this is how you make a proper deck to win. So what you want to do is you want to have a splash damage card. If you don't know what this means, it means with one throw or one fire of something, it does damage to troops surrounding. So here you go. If we have a look at the bomber, this bomber does 176 damage area. So area damage means it is a splash damage card. So if you have a look at the witch, area damage 38, she's splash damage. The Valkyrie is splash damage. The baby dragon, the bomb tower, what else do we have here? We've got a bomber. Like I said before, we have the balloon. I think the balloon counts as splash damage. Does it? I guess it kind of does in a way, not really, but that's not. You don't want to use the troop. You don't want to use the balloon as a splash damage troop, really. And then who else has got splash damage? The wizard, and a few other cards. But yeah, so that's what you want. So let's put a splash damage card in our deck. So I'm going to choose the wizard. Here we go. So put the wizard in. Now we want a tank. Now the tank is something that you want to put at the front of your push. Maybe like a giant. You could use possibly a prince. That would I guess would work. Definitely the giant skeleton is a very good card to use as a pusher decker. That doesn't even make sense. But yeah, you can use the P.E.K.K.A as a tank. But really for a tank, what I like to go for is something that focuses on defense. So usually the giant is a good option. So let's put the giant in there. Now we want a damage dealer to the tower. So this could be the musketeer is a good option. The prince is a very good option. The mini P.E.K.K.A is a good option. But I like to use this guy, the Hog Rider. This guy is amazing. He is just so good. I love him so much. Now what we want is something to like attack other troops, like the arrows, the rocket isn't the best one, or a fireball perhaps, just something to destroy troops. So I'm going to go with the arrows. That's what I usually use. So there we go. Now what we want to do is I like to have usually a defense or two, at least one defense in my deck, and I always usually go for the Tesla. You can go with the Inferno Tower, the Cannon, the Bomb Tower, anything really like that. But if you don't use a defense, always use this guy. If you're not using a defense, I like to use the Giant Skeleton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Tesla in here. So there we go. Now we've got a tank, a splash damage dealer, something to attack the opposition's troops. We've got a damage dealer, and we have a Tesla, which is the defense. So the Hog Rider is placed behind the giant. The giant takes the damage of the tower. The Hog Rider goes through to the tower and does damage. So now we want, usually what I go for, it's something that can attack air troops. Now if you don't have anything that can attack air troops, then you're in trouble, because the person that you're facing could literally just, I don't know, they could just drop air troops and you couldn't do anything about it except for your towers. So what I like to do is I at least like to have two minimum. So here we have the spear goblins and the minions. You can always use the archers, you can use the musketeer, you can use the baby dragon, you can use the witch, you can really use anything really that can attack air. So I'm not sure if it says, yeah, here we go. If you click on the card and click info, and then you can see targets air and ground. As long as they have air in there, then you should be good. So like I said, I like to go for at least two cards that have air attack capabilities. So now what we want to do is we just want to have a quick look at our deck. So we've got a tank, we've got a defense guy, and who can also go for the tower and do lots of damage. We've got a guy that does decent damage to the tower. We've got something to destroy the opposition's troops. We've got a defense. We've got the two guys that can defend air troops, and they're also pretty cheap. So now we've got a 3.9 elixir deck, which is fairly average, I would say, but I like to sometimes go for the cheaper decks. So what we're going to do is swap the bomb tower out for, I don't know, what should we use? What do we lack? We're kind of lacking a little bit of air troops, and I would say possibly some attack towards a tower. So let's go for, what should we drop in here? Let's try and go for, let's try the baby dragon, because the baby dragon is an all-round very good card, because he does a lot of damage. He did splash damage, he can attack the air and ground as well, and he's got a fair amount of hit points. So let's go with the baby dragon. So here we go. This is a very, oh, whoops. This is the deck that we've made. This is technically an ideal deck. So guys, that is pretty much how you make a perfect deck. It might not be the perfect deck because I haven't tested it out. Obviously I don't recommend using this deck because there has been no testing at all. If you want to test it out and maybe tweak it a little bit, you know, do that and sure, whatever. But the perfect deck cannot be made without testing. So if I could go into a game and this deck could be horrific. Like, it could be the worst game I've ever played with the deck. Now, if that happens, you just tweak it a little bit. Like, maybe instead of, I don't know, instead of the spear goblins, we want to use maybe the witch or something like that. I don't know. But you just tweak it if it doesn't feel right. And just keep tweaking it until it feels perfect for you. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
You'll grow, I'll be okay. I can dream the rest away. It's just a little touch of fate, it'll be okay. It sure takes its precious time, but it's got rights and so have I.